I receive many comments from you, my viewers, and I am always happy to read my comment section, because when I read a comment, it means you watch my video, you understand something or you learn something, and you are trying to take some action. You need more clarity, and that is why I enjoy reading the comment section and trying to respond to almost all comments as best as I can. And that is why today I'm going to answer some of the most frequent questions I received in my comment section. And of course, if you have any follow-up question, or even if you have a totally different question, you can simply post it in the comment section and I will try my best to respond. So let's start with the very first question that I receive a lot. And that question is, can I start virtual assistants without a computer? The short answer is no. I believe if you want to become a virtual assistant, in order for you to become a virtual assistant, you do need a computer. And that is because as a virtual assistant, you are going to be doing multiple things for client. Even if you said you are going to be a data entry virtual assistant, data entry require you to use Google Sheets, Microsoft Word, browsing the internet, using different sites. So you are going to need a computer in order to do that. But especially if you want to become an administrative virtual assistant or a general virtual assistant, then you are going to be doing random different things for client. And for that reason, I believe you do need a computer in order to start virtual assistants. But that doesn't mean you have to wait until you have a computer in order to start doing anything. Even if you don't have a computer right now and you don't have access to any computer, there are still some things you can do, but not virtual assistant. You can start offering some freelancing services. When you make enough money to buy a computer, then you can transition to virtual assistants. There are several things that you can do as a freelancer, not a virtual assistant. A good example is vertical video editing. You know, vertical video, the videos that you post on TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Short, vertical video, short video, 1 minute, 60 seconds or less, or now sometimes it takes up to 3 minutes long. But those kind of videos, in most cases, you can edit this kind of videos with your mobile phone. CapCut is a very good video editor. Even on your mobile phone, you can do a lot of good things with it. You can use other video editing tools like InShot on your mobile phone to edit good videos, really. So this is one of the services that you can start offering as a freelancer, not a virtual assistant. I did a whole video about starting freelancing without a computer. I'm going to put a link to the video in the description. So if you don't have a computer and you are ready and willing to get started, start making some money, go and watch that video. Take some skills that you can start offering with your mobile phone, learn the skills and start offering to client. Okay, the next question that I receive is almost always is a follow-up question to the previous question. And that question is, what type of computer? What type of computer can I use to start virtual assistants? And I can tell you the type of computer that you need in order to start virtual assistants is the type of computer that you can afford. When I started virtual assistant, I didn't have a personal computer, but when I wanted to go all in, I raised up some money and buy a second-hand computer. The computer is very small. If I find the computer, I will put a picture of it on screen so you can see the computer that I started with. And the computer only runs on Windows 8, and I cannot open more than 2 tabs in a browser. If I open more than 2 tabs, it will start to slow down. And I did use that computer to start web design with that kind of computer, and I used it to make my first money as a freelancer. When I made enough money, I used the money that I made as a freelancer to buy a better computer. And that is just what you need to do. Don't let yourself get stuck waiting to buy the best computer that there is. Just buy the best that you can afford. When you buy the one that you can afford, you can figure out a way to make it work. It will be difficult, but it will work. The goal is to just get started. When you get started, there is a lot of things to learn. Over time, you are going to learn all the things you need to learn, and you will get used to using your small computer. When you are able to find client, make some money, you can make it even a first priority. As soon as you make some money, if your computer is really slow, you can just upgrade your computer as the first thing when you start making money. Okay, the next question that I receive a lot is, Where can I find a client as a beginner to virtual assistant? There are many places to find a client as a beginner to virtual assistants. What I recommend is beginners to start with a freelancing platform. And the most popular freelancing platforms for virtual assistant is Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer.com. When I got started as a web designer, freelance web designer, I started on Freelancer.com. But because I had very little skills, didn't know much about what I am doing, I made so many mistakes that my profile on Freelancer.com had 50% bad client reviews. So I had to abandon it and started again on Fiverr. But even before I abandoned that profile on Freelancer.com, I didn't really like Freelancer.com because it took me too much time. I have to be on the platform a lot. As soon as a project is posted, I need to send my proposal as soon as possible. And that was how I was able to find client on Freelancer.com. But I stopped doing it and moved to Fiverr, then Upwork, and I made them work. So to answer the question, virtual assistant, the first place that you will go as a beginner is Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer.com. The next place that you can find client is social media. You can find client on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, through cold outreach. Cold outreach is simply you find people who will benefit from your services. You reach out to them, introduce yourself, and offer your services to them. Many people do this, but many people do it the wrong way. So if you want to learn how to do it the right way, I have a guide on cold outreach that I'm going to put a link in the description of this video. So just go find the video, watch, and learn about cold outreach. The other method that virtual assistant find client is through referrals. This is something that works for people it usually works for people if you are not in Nigeria or if you are not in Africa. One of the first things that top virtual assistant coaches recommend is if you are just getting started, start with your family and friends. That will work, but if you are in Nigeria, it most likely won't work because we are not really that used and comfortable to the idea of hiring online, working online, and even if there are just too many challenges. And if you are in Nigeria or any other African countries, you are going to understand. So this is something that if it can work for you, you can start with your family and friends. If not, then it really won't work for me and many people that I know. So as a beginner, start with Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer.com, and cold outreach. It will take a lot of time for you to learn how to use all of those right. So you can start with few. You don't have to start with everything. You can start only with Upwork, or you can start with Upwork and cold outreach, or you can start with Upwork and Fiverr, or you can start with Upwork, Fiverr, and cold outreach. You don't just do what you can, right, with the amount of time that you have available. Okay, the next question that I receive a lot is, can I do this part-time? Like many people have limited amount of time, maybe because of a full-time job, or if you are attending school, or if you have other activities that you cannot focus all your time into being a virtual assistant. And the answer is yes, you absolutely can. When I started freelancing, I started in 2019. And at that time, I already had a full-time job. And even when I transitioned to virtual assistants, I become a virtual assistant. I have 3 clients. I think when I transitioned, before I left my full-time job, I constantly have 3 virtual assistant clients that I am working for them. And I work for clients for about, I think, 30 hours per week, even though I had a full-time job. So you surely can do that. Not everyone can do what I did, because sometimes I work until 2 or 3 in the morning sometimes. Not everyone can do that. So just use your time, use the time that you have available. What you need to focus on the most as a beginner is learning the skills and finding your first client. So all your time should go into learning the skills that you are going to start offering to client and trying to find your first client. When you find your first client, then you can start offering them the time that you have available. If they need more time, try to see if there is a way for you to offer it to them. For example, if you can only offer 10 hours of work per week for them and they need 15 hours of work, if there is a way that you can sacrifice something in order to offer the remaining time to them, try as much as possible to do that. But if you absolutely cannot offer more than 10 hours and the client need 15 hours of work, then it's something you just have to communicate with them. You are going to risk losing the client. But if you can't offer it to them, then you just can't offer it to them. So can you start part-time? You absolutely can. The next question that I receive a lot is, can you join my mentorship program or my coaching program? And the answer is, I don't have a coaching program or a mentorship program yet. All my time and energy really right now is focused into my YouTube videos, my work as a virtual assistant, and other small businesses that I have in the side. So I don't really have the time to put and focus into mentoring virtual assistant or even into creating a coaching program. But this is something that I have been considering lately, especially with the high level of requests I am receiving. So I might make something work in the next few months. If I do, that is something that I am going to make an announcement. And if you believe you really need a coaching right now, then watch this video. In this video, I shared a 3-step formula that if you follow it, you understand the video, and you implement the 3-step formula, you are going to be on the right path really to succeeding as a virtual assistant. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next one.